For that, we speak now to Sarah Norcross, Director of the Progress Educational Trust and Commissioning Editor of its flagship publication, BioNews. Thank you very much for coming on the programme.
Thank you very much for asking me to join on this important topic.
So what's your reaction to the developments there in Alabama?
I think it's really shocking and very, devastating blow, really, for both patients and fertility clinics, because to have embryos regarded as children, it seems nonsensical, I think, in some ways to us in the UK that this could even happen. And the implications for people undergoing fertility treatment are huge, because in the process of fertility treatment, multiple embryos are usually created. And then patients have those embryos transferred back into the uterus, usually one embryo at a time. And people have ideas about how many children that they would like to have. And if multiple embryos are created and people are, in effect, by this law, by this ruling rather than a law, by this judgment, forced to have them put back, then, what sort of reproductive choice is that?
And so if this ruling, we heard from Jared, there's no implication at the moment for any other state, so there isn't any immediate ramification. But if this ruling were to stand, what would be your concerns?
My concerns would be that for people in Alabama who can't afford to travel interstate to have their treatment, they are then forced into this really suboptimal fertility treatment pathway. And whether clinics will even be prepared to treat people still when if a patient says to the doctor, I don't want any more embryos transferred, and the clinic then has to dispose of those embryos by allowing them to perish, could then face a manslaughter or murder charge. How can a clinic operate on that basis? And how can a patient make decisions about their family on that basis? That if they don't want to use all the embryos are created, that they too could potentially be charged with murder or manslaughter.
And what about potential in other countries? Is this the case that this is a specific ruling for specific reasons in a specific state in one country, and therefore treatments around the world are not likely to be affected, or could they be?
People always are concerned that what happens in the US can ripple around the world. In Italy, although the situation has changed now, they used to have some similar restrictions because, it's very much a Catholic country. In Alabama, they seem to be putting over 40 years of fertility treatment and IVF. Seem to be trying to get rid of it by this ruling. The judges in this case really need to think about the people that this impacts going forward, people who very much want to be parents and how now are having those options really limited.